remember listening to Michael Heiser, I don't know, in an interview or something, and he was saying something like everybody tries to see Jesus in everything, and he was nice about it. And I hear a lot of people that like Mike Heiser kind of feeling the same way, and I get it. Like, depending on what you mean, seeing Jesus in everything to a ridiculous degree. But it's like, what is irritating about that exactly? Well, if it's not true, yeah, true. Like, if we didn't want to put Jesus somewhere he doesn't belong, right? But in another sense, it all is pointing to Jesus. And so, what exactly is the problem? Well, because some forms of exegesis would say you can't even posit the idea that Jesus is embedded in the text. Well, that's false. It's clearly false. We know that the original people wrote that it was talking about a Messiah. So that gets problematic. Are you going to say we can't allow the New Testament writers to inform us that the Satan is the snake from the beginning and the one who's also tempting Jesus now and the full enemy of God? Some people go that direction because that's where the principles that have developed take them by necessity of being consistent. But I'll never forget Michael Heiser said, look, something about like seminal emissions, and I was like, well, or like, or where God's like, I hate your stupid feasts. I'm going to smear poop on your face. Just Malachi 2, by the way. The refuse there is literally poop that God says he's going to smear on their face. And then he says how he hates their feasts. And then some people will use that to say, well, God never instituted the feast. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I know you don't like penal substitutionary atonement, which I get. I'm not necessarily penal substitution either. But dude, God implemented animal sacrifices, okay? That's quite clear to teach us something about sin. And it's the wages of death and the value of God being the one who covers us or fixes us or, descends to show us who he is to redeem us. But God instituted the sacrifices, even though he says stuff like that. Why does he say that? He also says like all your righteousness is like filthy rags. And the word there for filthy rags, by the way, is something like menstrual bleeding. Because it's his bride, right? God's people are his bride. But he's sick. What is he saying there? Look, I don't want your stupid rituals. I want you to be converted. It's not that he hated the thing he set up for sacrifices. What was he doing? Well, if he hated the animal sacrifices, like, is he going to hate that Jesus? This is where it gets down to the nitty gritty on the atonement theories. In what way does God save us? And how do we receive that? Lurking in the background is like, historically, the Orthodox and Catholic, let's just get to the nitty gritty here. Like, really, are they trying to slip in that we have to do their transubstantiation or their rituals, or we're not saved? That's the question I want to know. Do I have to do your ritual to be saved? And why? Why would that be the case? I don't have a problem with taking communion seriously. I don't have a problem with saying certain churches do it better than others and certain churches take it seriously. But if you're going to tell me I have to literally eat Jesus and your magic priests have to be the ones to do it to me, that ain't going to happen. Okay? But Jesus so you could say Jesus replaced the menstrual cycles of their continual feasts that God used to do sacrifices to connect to them by faith and repentance and them trusting God to take away their sins by doing the things God said. But God really is saying, stop being a dick, basically. Stop mistreating people and thinking you can come and do a ritual and I'll be okay with you now. Right? There's a tension there. Like, I want you to do the sacrifices because I'm trying to show you something about the wages of sin and death. But if you're going to think you can just go out and murder people, not feed the homeless and feed the widow, and then come in here and do your Hail Marys, jump through a hoop, kill a cow, kill a duck, and then I'm going to be happy with that. Who do you think I am, you idiot?